So the first tip would be having the right environment. Kind of like how games, when you go into any game for that matter, they have a different environment setup. It could be a theme, it could be a very complex open world game, it could be a very simple 2D or mobile app game or whatever it may be. So you want to have that sort of environment, not to make it into a game, but to create an environment that drives certain habits or behaviors, right? So the thing about games is that when you go into a game, you kind of know what to expect, you kind of know what to do and what you're in for because of the way the environment has been set up and how it looks and how it makes you feel. So when you have the right triggers in the environment, you're able to create or drive the behaviors that you want to see. And to know what triggers to have, you first have to see what makes sense to do. And there are a few things that you want to consider. One is, of course, the first thing is you want to know what culture you want to build, what core values that you have. Whether it's building a new culture from scratch or you're trying to transition from an old culture to a new culture, you want to know what that culture is and what success means to the company. How do you know, or what behaviors do you want to see that will tell you that, okay, our company, our employees have adopted the culture 100% and they're living, breathing the culture at the core value. So know what those are. And then once you know what your culture is and what those core drives and business metrics are, they will act as a filter, right? And once you come up with ideas, you sit down with your team, wherever it is, and say, okay, look, what can we do to build these triggers in our workplace, in this environment that we have? Whatever ideas you come up with, you put them through the filter and see what is most impactful to your metrics and your culture and core values, and also what's most practical for you to do, right? Some things may be really, really beneficial or impactful to your metrics, but may be very difficult to do. Yes, they might still be worth doing, but you might want to do them later. But some are really easy to do and really impactful. You want to do those first. While others may not be impactful at all. And this will help you decide what's necessary to do and what's not worth your time. Because there's only so much resources and time that we have to spare. You want to focus your energy in the right places, right? So once you know what triggers you want to build, you also want to make sure that you link them to the right motivations. So we talked about understanding your audience, or in this case, your employees. And it doesn't mean you understand them in the sense where you have a demographic and you say, look, they are millennials, they are, this race, this gender, this age, this is their experience, this is their profession, whatever it may be. That doesn't tell you about their personality, who they are as people. You really want to understand them as humans, right? So we call this having an empathetic mindset, or even using something called the empathy map, where you ask yourself, what would they think? What would they say? What would they do? Right? How would they feel? And when you understand this, you're able to understand what motivations from those 8 core drives that we talked about, which of those 8 they will respond to the most. Sure, some of them will respond to some and the rest will respond to others, but it doesn't matter because you're able to kind of pinpoint which ones make the most sense for you to use. If you know that your employees will probably not respond to one core drive, you can just ignore it or do less of it, right? So once you know who they are, what motivations they like, then you can know what triggers make the most sense.